So what else would you be doing in the beginning of February 2022 on a Sunday than sitting at the services in Clitheroe in Lancashire? Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I have been shopping for Cats in Space. Got a phone call from Greg and Stevie and the guys. They said, we really quite liked the Christmas video that we made together. Can we do some more? And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. We'd like to do something that kind of looks $1 million, but doesn't cost $1 million. I said, well, no change there then. Typical rock and roll brief. Rolls Royce dreams, Austin Allegro money. I've been shopping. I bought a doll's house. I'm serious, I bought a doll's house. I just bought it second hand from a little couple in Clitheroe who specialise in it. So I've just been sitting with a woman going through little doll's house things and saying, oh, I quite like that plate, and oh, grandfather clock, and ended up parting with way more money than I thought I was going to. And this is going to be the set for the forthcoming Puck the Witch single, so I'm venturing into something which I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I might be doing a video soon of me going back to the lady and going, can you give me half of what I paid for it back, please, because it just doesn't work. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun, I think. Oh my, I think I might need assistance.
Thing. And a rug. You say that.
This bottle of wine's massively out of proportion though.
Obviously Poke the Witch being a crazy kind of song title for a start was always going to lend itself that the video would be a bit kind of zany, a bit out there, which is typical Cats. So we wanted something really big. We didn't want to do like a cheap kind of knocked together kind of thing. We had quite grand plans for it. So my initial idea as the kind of, the songwriter of the tune was always like witchy poo, HR Puffin stuff and crazy kind of early 70s, late 60s kind of imagery that could be really good fun. Very Hanna-Barbera, which is very Cats in Space, of course. Obviously transferring that into an actual video is a hell of a job to do. And of course we was going to need a witch and we was going to need direction and someone that could film it and get the concept together. It kind of put a really positive message that we're now going to go forward from this horrible period of our lives, but with a crazy witch and a dancing dog.
It's day one really of cracking in. And now it's time to focus on this. Now it's very tempting to just go, camera, shoot loads of stuff, get your stabilizer out, start. The reality with this is that I've literally got housekeeping to do. I'm writing my own jokes here. For example, the lighting. Just get everything working. Oh, look at that quality. I've wired this up correctly. If I plug this into here, you've got some lights there. There's a chandelier there, there's a bulb out there, and landing. Very subtle lighting in the bathroom. Atmospheric. Lights are working. I'm kind of pre-producing the video by shooting things and then I'm going to put the band into the scene, which is kind of the other way around. So I've got to be patient here and I've got to make sure that I shoot this correctly and properly storyboard it, which in rock and roll terms is usually suicide because it ends up being a really flat, dull video when it's too storyboarded. And I've got to try and make the band look great in this space. It's exciting, I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm going to have to be very good at directing. I tell you, if you're wondering why that's wobbling, it's because there's a cat in space. Hey, look at the camera. Yeah, I've got to try and get the band to perform in this space when they have no idea where they are when they're performing. I don't have a problem with Cats in Space with this because we've already had Zoom meetings and we talked this through, and these guys they're so open-minded on these things, and I don't have to say this because they haven't paid me yet. So, it's actually, no, I have to say this because they haven't paid me, don't I? They're just great. They're amazing. We did a Christmas video together, as you know, and it was an absolute piece of cake. Not only was it a piece of cake, it was actually a really good laugh. So if you combine those two things into making a little bit of money and enjoying yourself with some good guys, life's good. So hello everybody, as if we've just connected.
Hey. Hey, back from Vegas. So why have you dragged me back?
Where's your squawk mic?
10 more, Roger, over. I think we lost Ginger over Dover.
Beep, 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 beep. Blang.
Already done. Put the witch to take 911.
Imagine if that door gas opens.
Then you need her.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually the real witchy poo there.
Wow.
Hand signed.
Yeah, the witch, that was a strange one because we had quite a few names of people that we thought, oh, she'd be good, she'd be good. Then all of a sudden I just thought, if I wanted to ask a person that I knew, somebody who was really good at being a baddie, because we wanted a bad witch, someone that was going to really mess things up. We eventually found our witch closer than we could ever think. She
She's
actually
over
lived
there.
opposite my house, which is crazy.
She's actually over there.
She is over there. My God, my good friend Mel, who plays evil queens, king rats, the evil witch on Goldilocks and the Three, all panto sort of stuff. And she's
Goldilocks and the Three Witches. I've not heard of that one.
I called her and she said, Stevie, that would be amazing. I will not let you down. And from the minute she turned up to the minute she went home, she was 100% witch. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Hey cat fans, this is the broomstick that belongs to the witch. That's it. I'm going to shape it all up. This is what you'll see on the video. Loads of twigs and stuff here too. That's all going to be part of it. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll see you soon.
Stevie rang me while you were away, and just to talk about me replacing you in the band, obviously.
That's great.
But he told me that you're going to bring a stage fan. Is that correct? One of
Yes.
the metal frame stage fans. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
To get any kind of movement in the clothing and things like that, we're going to need that, and we need to.
It's very. It goes from low to very powerful.
This really made a big difference because
Hello.
We're rolling. So here we are. We're doing witchy poo stuff. We've got a whole load of directions and what do you call it? It's like a shot list. A shot list. That's what we've got. It's been a bit fraught. This has. I'm a little bit nervous, but we've shot some stuff already. It's looking really good. Don't you think, Stevie?
I do.
I think it's looking all right. So
indeed.
This is Chief Windman. He's in charge of the fan. Various bits. This here, for example, we've got a shot here which is going to be somebody on the loo, hopefully. Can you imagine Andy's hat sticking up over the top of that? That's the idea of the shot. So I'm really nervous about this video, but so far this morning it's gone like really good. I can't really tell till you get back and put it in the edit.
We're
but
very
you know,
hands.
well, yeah. Let's wait till it's edited before we commit to that one. But yeah, let's crack on and do some more witchy stuff. We've got so much to get through, really have. Cheers. Is that your superhero name? Stevie is Windman.
If you've got the green screen over the stool, she puts one leg this side. You don't see the other leg where she's, the stick's coming out like that. So yeah, this has got green screen on it. She'll have to sit and go, ah, ha, 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 ha.
But the thing that we discussed the other day, again, before I got refused to play guitar in the band.
I'm fine. I'm back to Vegas. Fuck it.
Ah, that's funny.
Imagine a riding a motorbike. Imagine it's just being like a motorbike. Feet are on pegs, and when you go faster, you're. Now I want to get her to simulate doing that. The problem with it is that if you were doing it and you were actually on a broomstick, then your legs would be kind of dangling behind you like this.
Yeah.
I had a hilarious vision of getting like a sort of emu kind of thing where she's actually inside and we put green on it, and then there's some fake legs that come out and you just bend them into the shape that you want. Yeah, that's the one. That's it. Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. I want to do a close-up of your face when you've landed, so you don't need to do the jump again. Do your land. Okay, you don't, yeah, that's it. Yeah, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Yeah, yeah. So, it's midnight, heading south tomorrow. I'm taking the time to kind of drill down into a shot list, but I got a bit carried away with it, in a good way, actually. I feel much better about it now by going through the whole of the video in order like this, and then making lists for each band member. So this is Damien, and this is all his shots, just for his vocal parts. There are set pieces, so there's the fridge shot, there's the Andy in the bathroom shot. Do you like my drawing? Isn't it lovely? So what we've got here is we've got different band members in different rooms, because the eye lines are really important. So there's some physical plans, layouts of the video shoot. There's a set piece shot list. There's shot lists for each individual band members. Witchy poo's crucial. If I miss one little thing, I can miss out on the story, and unlike normally where I just busk my way through and make it up as I go along, really can't do that this time. Got to do it properly. So this is me doing it properly, but I feel much better about it, actually. I feel much more confident, and I've done a couple of little bits this week where I've looked at it and gone, I can actually pull this off. I've kind of sold them this idea that we're going to have this incredible video, and then I kind of went, can I do this, you know? And I just kind of think, I've got to do this, I've got to pull it off. And I have to say, I've done some shots this week using Karsten from Mixband to green screen and do a test for where Stevie's going to go. I've done some little bits with me where I've been miming and things like that, which is comical, but it's very useful as well. So, and I've gone through, and actually, some of it looks really good. Even I kind of looking at it and going, yeah, I'm getting this. I'm really getting a feel for it. So if I can just get everything technically right over the next couple of days, I can get back, relax, and start to get really creative with it, and hopefully knock out a great video. I can do an angle on that greens thing, so if you, it's good when it's kind of central, you know, like as if, yeah, so like, yeah, just hold that shot.
The message of the song obviously is about kind of COVID and kicking COVID up the backside, and well, the early ideas was having the band performing with maybe a cartoon background, maybe that moved along a bit, and
like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo, like trees and houses. As it went along, it was the same tree house, you know, like they did. Yeah, rhubarb and custard, and work a witch into it somewhere, and it all kind of, it had legs, but it wasn't quite right. And then we had a Zoom meeting over it, and James came up with this idea about introducing the doll's house.
That's right, yeah. And the thing that did it for me was he said, we are going to be shrunk from full-size people to 0.3, whatever it was, and work inside this doll's house. Pretty mind-blowing.
It was a brilliant idea, but to be honest, I had no idea how on earth that was ever going to work, because I couldn't envisage how he was going to plonk 6 guys into various rooms in a doll's house this big and make them do things like actually go into the room, come forward, go upstairs. And then of course all of this has got to tell the story, and also you've got a witch involved who's going to be part of the story as well. And it looked like it could be really chaotic, but it turned out pretty good. And the thing was, the witch had to be fluent throughout the video because she is meant to be the virus. So the virus is floating in the air and moving there and causing trouble. So being a witch causing trouble, the two kind of went hand in hand. And of course we've got Damien, who's absolutely a brilliant kind of actor, dare I say, if you will.
For 15 years I've been a professional witch poker. This is the device I use to smite the foul beast.
And he just submerges himself into whatever you ask him to do. And the interplay between him and the witch, which is actually not superimposed, that is them acting together, was absolutely magic, and the whole thing just turned out brilliant. No idea how James put that all together, because that's witchcraft. I'm happy with that piece, by the way. Come on, let's just marvel at this for a minute.
You can't say
Proper
that anymore.
planks here. 180 quid coming in.
Oh, okay.
Put it on the fan
I'm
page.
rolling. Ready? Go. 3, 2, 1.
And Jeff and Dean driving the truck.
Oh yeah.
How the hell did that
So
work?
funny.
Driving a truck, we had to sit on nothing and just do this like we're going along.
There's a strange thing about that because you're supposed to be in the back until I got home and realised that the vehicle doesn't have a back window.
Yeah, I lost a shot there, didn't I?
I want you looking as if you're looking, look around as if you're like you're driving somewhere you haven't been before and you're kind of looking, yeah, that's it, yeah, yeah. Yeah, a little bit wibbly on the road. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and look around as if you're looking around. Oh, that's the scenery over there. You see somebody in front, and they open the fridge, and then the camera's inside the fridge. You see them open, and then they reach in, and I found this. This is the dogs. The idea is somebody comes out and goes, and just kind of throws it away, something like that. Go and give it a go. I'm rolling, Andy. Go on, grab it. Go on, get it. Go. Get it. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah, give it a go. Brilliant. So, it's December, and one of the things that I haven't been asked at all whilst we've been out on the road with Cats in Space over the last few weeks is whether or not we can do a deep dive into like one particular scene from Cats in Space's Poke the Witch video in order to see how we actually layered it together. So, in order to satisfy absolutely nobody's curiosity, let's take a quick look, shall we? Let's take a look at the scene that's just after the solo, which is Damien sitting on the stairs with Witchy Poo dancing around slow-mo in the background. It's a particular favourite of mine, this one. When I was creating the video, I wanted to get to this sweet spot where I created a kind of suspension of disbelief about them being in this doll's house without losing the charm and the sort of atmosphere that a children's book might give. That's a tricky one to do. We're not trying to do Hollywood CGI here where you genuinely believe that they're in a proper house. You want it to feel like a doll's house, but then you don't want it to look sort of just cheesy, a bit Rent-A-Ghost, you know. And that's where this one is a favourite of mine, because I think in this scene in particular, we do kind of achieve that. We've got to bear in mind that this scene is actually, the whole of this is one tiny portion of a doll's house, which is about that big in size. I use nested sequences a lot, and this sequence is nested. The reason why is it's a way of wrapping it up, like putting it in a box and sealing it and saying, right, that's all one thing. And then if you do any adjustments, it does it globally throughout everything that's contained within that box. So you can kind of nest within another and nest and nest. And this is a good example, because if I double click on that, you'll see that we've got 4 nested sequences here. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. The one that we're interested in initially is this bottom one. So this one has another nested sequence in it. And this one has 2 key elements. One is Damien. You'll see if I click, it disappears. That's him there. The second one is the entire background. That is Damien sitting on his own. So let's have a look at the background first. So what we're looking at here is all the things that I've basically already created, and I'm just going to be turning things on and off. I'm not going to go through the whole process of creating this live, otherwise we'd be here all day. This is essentially the background. This is it. This is a video piece. It's shot with a locked off camera. It's a static shot. That's all it is. But here it looks a little bit stark. Just looks a little bit not quite right. So what I did was I went in and I created a room shadow. Now you'll see here on this mask, if I just highlight this, you'll see that this area here is masked off. Everything outside this area I've dimmed down. This brings in a focus on the area in the center. So it's a way of zooming the viewer's attention in on that subject. All these masks are drawn by hand. You just simply click on these corner pieces and it creates a mask, which you can also drag around if you want a position wherever you want. But this was hand drawn in just simply by clicking in certain areas. Now, also within this composition, you'll see that there is a floor shadow. This area here at the bottom is just too stark. So you have to create a masked area by clicking in, you see if I just zoom out on this one, you see that this mask is created with a feathered edge all the way around. And you create these by simply taking these zones and clicking around and just moving them around. So what we've got here is Damien. Damien's actually sitting on this. This is a wooden stool which I use to get things from tall cupboards in the kitchen, and I looked at it before I left and I went, that'd be perfect. So effectively what is underneath Damien is that wooden stool. We've coated it here, as you can see, in another green screen. The colours don't quite match, but we worked around that by masking and so on. So Damien is simply sitting on a stool here and performing the song. If we hit play, you can see there he's singing along. So the first thing we have to do is go in and create a mask to remove as much as we can of the surrounding areas to make sure that we're not going to be having to green screen out all these elements. So we create a mask around Damien, and if you just create it in a way that you allow yourself enough room that he never really steps out of that mask, then that's fine. So you'll see there, you can see him singing that section, but he never really, his feet don't move much and so on. So that's been created all around there with multiple nodes, and that's stage one. Let me just give you an example by resetting this Ultra key and show you exactly how we do this. All you simply do is you go over here, you select a dropper tool, you select the background like so. Let's just zoom in on this so we get a better view of what we're dealing with. You can see that that's already removed that area to some degree. If we take up the pedestal on it, that kind of removes it a little bit, but the best way to do it is to go to an alpha channel setting. That way you can really see that in this area here, for example, there are some bits that when that moves around, you will see that sizzling. You see a little bit on his wrist there, a little bit here. So by fine tuning this, playing about with these settings, tolerance and the like, tolerance is mainly for the background. But the main one here is if you just bring the transparency up a little bit, just play about with that, you can actually get to a point where you've removed the majority of these elements like so. If you have a quick scan around, you can see that looks pretty good. There's nothing appearing within this white area when we move it, so we know that's pretty good. If we then go to the complete section there, you can see that looks pretty accurate too. It's also worth going in and putting a little bit of a choke on it, because you'll notice that around these elements around the side of him, there are some green sections which are just a little bit too bright. But just zoom in there, you'll see that you see a little bit of green spill there. So go in there, choke, remove a little bit of the edging on it, and then you can put a little bit of softness on it, and that just takes that little bit of an edge off, and it also does wonders on hair at the top like you've got there. So what we've effectively done there is we've used Ultra Key effect to remove the background from the scene and check that there's no artifacts when he's moving. Then we repeat the same with a mask down here on the second area, which is his legs. And now, as you can see, if I just click out of here and hit play, what we've got is we've got Damien sitting singing a song, and it looks pretty damn realistic. He just has no background. There is a little bit of sizzle down the bottom here, which I would go in and fine tune. So if we return to the two bits of the scene here, which is our background and our foreground, which is Damien, he's on the stairs, he's positioned correctly, he's cut out, all the green's gone. He looks like he's on the stairs, but he's still not looking too realistic. You may remember we discussed a room shadow a little bit earlier, so let's put that in. The second one was the floor shadow that we created earlier. Add that back in. But he's still not looking particularly realistic. That's because his shadows are not correct. Imagine that the light is traveling in this direction across. It's hitting here, and there's no evidence here on this wall or anywhere behind him that he's on these stairs. So we create this shadow. When you move it, you'll see he now looks much more realistic. We could have tracked that shadow so that it moved with him, but limited time, limited budget. So let's just be happy that he's got a shadow. He's still not looking right though. So let's have a look at what we can do with him. By using the Lumetri color settings, we've managed to match him to his background a little bit more. You'll notice that he looks particularly stark when he's on his own there like that. It just looks like he's been placed into the scene. Maybe if we zoom in, it'll give you a better idea. You'll notice he's not looking particularly natural there. If we add in the colour correction that we've done to blend him towards the background and make the balance of the colours and the exposure and so on look a little bit more like it, he looks much more like he's supposed to be in this location. You'll notice, take it off, very stark, put it back on, there he is. But there's still a problem with this. We've corrected the floor, we've created this illusion that the light's coming in from this way, but it works on the floor, it works on the walls, his shadow's working well, but I still feel like he doesn't look like he's being hit from this side by the light. So we've created this mask here, which when we put it on, you'll notice creates this look along his body, which gives the impression that he's being lit from the side. If we now go back to this scene and look at all the elements we put together, he's looking pretty realistic on that staircase. If we hit play there, you can see that he does actually look like he might well be sitting on that staircase. It's starting to come together, the shadows are working. I'm getting the impression that he's there. If we return now to the scene proper, what we've got now is you'll see that we now have Witchy Poo, which I can take her in and out by simply removing this one particular scene. Now, if I double click on this, you'll see that what we've got is we've got Witchy Poo there. She's going to be dancing there in the background. If we go up to this original source footage here, you'll see that Witchy Poo is now that's quite comical dancing, but that's actually the sequence that you're looking at on this particular scene. So this is the source footage that we're working with for Witchy Poo. You can see she's dancing around here in front of the lights and so on. We've masked her out by creating this mask here, which means that we just focus on this area to remove the green. We add our Ultra key, which removes that background. This means that when you click on it, she's dancing in free space. We've also slowed her down. This creates the illusion that she's moving in slow motion, but also everything is very smooth and blended. What we've also done is we've added some blur on top because she's in the background and we want that depth of field effect where we've focused on Damien in the foreground. Just go back to the previous composition, you'll see she's out of focus in the background and now she's dancing around in the background there, and when she dances she looks like this. There's a problem here though, and the problem is that in this scene she looks great, but until we created these other elements she's been superimposed onto the scene. This means that when she moves over here you can see that she kind of dances across and she dances into Damien's area, which is not what we want. We don't want her to be dancing on top of Damien like that. So what we've done is we've simply taken a duplicate of Damien's clip here and we've masked it out to create this illusion that she is now behind this staircase. And there you go, that's her moving behind the staircase. So if we return to the main scene here, we've now got all our component parts, but to give it a little bit of realism, it's nice to put a little bit of movement in. So all we've done on this is quite simply, we've added a very slow zoom. And that zoom focuses you and draws you into the scene. What I've also done is added a slight amount of vignette around there. If I just remove it, you can see it focuses your attention a little bit more into Damien by adding this vignette area of darkening around the edges.
I need you to pretend that you're walking up some stairs to go onto the roof. 1, no roof. 2, there was no stairs. 3, we had to walk into the wall and we could only take 2 steps, and the 3rd step had to be like made up, if you like, because there was not a 3rd step. And I thought, well, the 3rd step means I'm going to fall off the back of this little wooden thing and hurt myself rather badly. So that was like, I don't see how that's going to work, but it did work.
In this scene, what you'll notice is that the guys arrive in the scene. Damien is now placed in the foreground here, and these guys go up the stairs. Let's just have a look at that again. So we've got Greg and Jeff walking up the stairs. But what you'll notice is they only actually achieve 2 steps within that scene. And the reason why that is important is because they only had 2 steps to go up. Come back towards me, and then I know it's hard because you feel like you're going to fall off the top step, but act as if you're going to go to a third step even though it's not there, okay? Give it a try, see what happens. See what it's only a Les Paul, don't worry. Yeah, go, rolling.
It's a big jump between that first and second step, isn't it?
Here, Damien's moved to the front of the shot. We've got the guys going up the stairs, which gives the impression that they're heading up to the roof, which is for this next section. And that is how you put it together. So what we've got there is a pretty convincing scene that I think works really well within the video, and it's one of my favourites. I think it's probably safe to say that to do those two scenes, it took me about a day. All I've done in this example here for you is to turn things on and off that I'd already created. The masking, going in and clicking all the individual zones and so on. It takes a lot of time. Green screening takes a lot of time. Creating shadows takes a lot of time, and then you play about with it and you push and pull it and so on. I think I spent about a day to create those two scenes there and make one 3-4 second shot for the video. So it was hard, it was a challenge, but I really enjoyed it, and I learned so much doing this video, and I have a real affection for it, because when I look back at it, I think that's when I learned how to do that. That's when I Googled and went on the University of YouTube and learned just how you actually create those things.
What I want is a target, and that target will be iterated with a doll's house stuck on it.
Yes.
And the great thing about having a building there already, or some kind of landmark there already, is that it means I can pin things to it and do like moves. I'll do the drone shoot. So this week I'm going to go and shoot the drone. I'm at a place, this is at Whistle Reservoir car park. It's called Batteries Road car park. This is where we want to be. It's chucking it down. I'm not going to be doing a lot of droning obviously, but a friend of mine told me something funny about this car park. I lived here till about 1984 or something like that, and I believe since then it has become famous for something which caught on after I left, called dogging. Not something I've ever been down the road of, if I'm honest, but I do feel a little bit conscious that I'm sitting in my car in a car park with my lights on, waiting for the rain to stop, and I might look like I'm waiting for some alternative kind of shower to arrive. Let's have a quick look at the land here. Let's just do a little bit of a camera down and have a little bit of a recce. Yeah, so there, I think we can pin it to that bench there. So I can position the house in the middle of that scene quite easily. When I get a little bit closer, I need to start climbing, and that'll take me up over the house. That there just flew the drone through that gap, and it was a bit more nerve-wracking than I thought it was going to be. I got to the other side, I couldn't really see, and I thought I want to continue the shot and climb out of it at the other side, and I couldn't really see the trees, so I was kind of praying that I wasn't going to hit a load of trees and either drop my drone in the reservoir. Oh, hang on, there you go. Used to go to school on that, but you're interested in that, aren't you? But there you go, Entwistle Viaduct in a Cats in Space video. Never thought I'd say that. I'm rolling, just so you're at the top of the roof and you're sliding down. That's it, yeah, that's it, yeah. And you get to the bottom with a boof.
We look at these as capsules of time that in years to come, when you look back at the story of Cats in Space, there's videos to go with it that mean something. They actually help you enjoy what our whole thing is about. Right off the bat, we knew there was going to be 3 singles off the album, potentially 5, but we knew there was going to be 3. And I said, we've got to do proper videos for all of them because they do follow a theme. because it is a loosely conceptual album. You know, you don't get 2 chances to do these things at our age. You only get 1 chance. And if we look back in 3-4 years' time and said, we should have done videos for that, I'd be gutted that we didn't do it. So we always put our necks on the block, we put our money where our mouth is, and we say, let's just do it and break the bank, as we always do. You know, obviously meeting James, who came on board, you know, to help us do these videos, we found the extra spoke in the wheel that is now part of the team that makes all the visual stuff about Cats in Space come to life.
But I was so determined to make this a really outstanding video that it's quite a fond memory. It's not a memory of absolute pain and torture. It was actually really good fun just going in and going, yeah, I want to create this, I want to make it look good, I want to make it look fantastic. I want everybody else to get drawn in the way that we do. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Hope you enjoyed it. A little bit long-winded, but hopefully worth it. Just as if you're going to walk up some stairs and imagine there's a 3rd step down. That's it, thank you. Yeah, that's it.
That's the easiest video shot I think I've ever done.
Yeah.
We've done 3 solos.
Yeah, 3 solos, that's it, isn't it? So that's good. So do you want to strap on? Again. Yeah, let me just try that again.
Do you want to lube up?
Would you like to put your guitar on? And can I give Andy Kitson a mention, who's actually holding the camera there, because he's been so quiet all day and he's behind all these shots. So that's a wrap. Yeah.
Why, thank you.
You just can't stop.
Great work, guys.